Alright, what's going on everyone? In this video, I'm going to be breaking down this webinar funnel flow framework. I mapped this out a couple months ago when I was really trying to be a funnel builder. And I guess I just want to break it down since I came across this whole flow that I had mapped out in the past, and I have a lot of other stuff, in here, but I just want to break this one down. So, webinar funnel, right? A webinar is basically usually it's a 1 hour to hour and a half event, and the whole purpose of the event is it kind of serves as a lead magnet, sort of, but it's kind of like an advanced lead magnet. So usually a lead magnet is a PDF of some sort, maybe an ebook, or some sort of framework, but a webinar is an advanced lead magnet in the case where it's like an event, or it's like an interactive event where a group of, not a group of people, but we're a group of your ideal audience and ICP comes together into one single room, and you are teaching them some sort of framework, or maybe a step-by-step like blueprint or guide, and the whole purpose of this lead magnet, which is basically a webinar or event, the whole purpose is to build trust with this room of people that have attended and signed up for your webinar, and to eventually upsell them on your next high ticket offer. Whether it's a coaching offer, whether it's some sort of course, or whether you're selling some sort of agency service. The whole purpose, or maybe it's a program that you're selling, but again, the whole purpose of this webinar funnel is really just for you to build trust, and for people to see that you are an expert or you're an authority figure and you know what you're talking about, within your niche, within whatever expertise you have, or whatever topic or domain you're looking to sell some sort of offer in. Again, this whole webinar is specifically designed for that. So now that we got that out of the way, what actually is this flow? So first off, usually you have, I crossed it out here, but usually you have social media at the top, so that's like traffic. And by traffic, I mean, traffic is usually it can be from organic content, it can be from maybe not affiliating, but it can be from referrals, but usually it's from organic content or from ads. And usually that goes from social media or traffic to registration page. And in the registration page, you're collecting contact info, you're getting market research. And by market research, that means that you have a specific survey that people fill out before the actual webinar, before they sign up, so that you can see what kind of people are, signing up or coming to your registration page, and what kind of people you're attracting, what kind of problems they might have, what sort of goals they might have. Overall, just wanted to see what kind of people you're attracting to your offer, your business. And of course, qualifying questions, so that you can eventually prioritize certain people after the webinar finishes. You can look at these qualifying questions and then get your sales team to see which specific which specific people are the ones that you should prioritize in the whole sales process. All right. So this also, once people actually give out, or once people fill out this survey that you have for contact info, market research, you want to then get an alert in maybe a Discord or something like that, a private little group where you have an alert for every new lead, and then you want to direct people from the registration page who sign up into some sort of private channel. So usually that's Telegram, maybe WhatsApp, maybe Discord if you have one, or school, but ideally one of these channels. Then you have some pre-framing content, before the actual webinar to get people, how would I say it, to get them like enticed and get rid of not buyer's remorse, but I guess remorse for taking their time or spending their time, how would I say it, spending their time giving you their contact info, their answering questions on your survey. You just want to make sure that this pre-framing content is, how would I say it, it makes your registrants actually be excited for the webinar before it actually happens, right? And of course, you want to build anticipation. Anticipation is basically just building up hype or getting them excited for what's to come before it actually, happens. And of course, you want to nurture as well in this private group. And by nurture, I mean maybe you can give out some free sauce, or maybe you can post some social proof, some sort of like transformations from clients that you've worked with, stuff like that. Again, the whole thing is really just to make them, how would I say it? The whole purpose of this private group is really just to make your registrants excited and see that this event is actually something that they should attend, right? Like, they're not going to waste your time if they attend the event. So once you have the final announcement, meaning final announcement is when the webinar is actually going to start, then that actually goes to the actual webinar. And I didn't touch on this, but registration page, once they sign up, you automatically take them to a confirmation page. You have email and SMS pre-webinar flows, again, to get them ready before the webinar. And both of these lead to the webinar, which is, of course, consisting of scripts, of the actual script and the slides. Because usually a webinar has a presentation deck that you outline before the actual event starts, so that you're not just, free balling on whatever topic it is that you're touching on. There has to be some sort of content structure in place, right? And once you finish up the webinar, that then goes to the post-webinar email and SMS flows. So that's like, after the actual webinar, after they attend, you're then getting them to take action on something that they didn't take action on. So if they didn't buy the course or coaching program, whatever it is, if they didn't book a call, buy your service, whatever your CTA is, the whole purpose of this is really just to pick up on that dead lead and not make sure, but really try to, get these people to take action, especially the ones who didn't take action during the webinar. You still have their email, you still have their phone number, you can still follow up with them and stuff like that. So that's the whole purpose of this. And of course, booking page, whatever your CTA is, ideally it goes to a booking page, and then you have your closer on there, sell the offer, that's done. But yeah, that's pretty much the entire webinar funnel flow. A couple tips as well: you want to have some sort of free giveaway at the end, and the whole purpose of that is so that people actually stick with the event and they don't leave, right? Because if you give people some sort of how would I say it? if you give people a reason to stay, then they're much more likely to stay. For example, if you're giving away $100 or maybe some sort of free consultation or some sort of whatever giveaway you can come up with that your audience would like, you need to really just push that at the beginning of the webinar so that people actually stay throughout the entire event. Because remember, this whole event is usually going to be like an hour long or an hour and a half long. So that's one thing to consider, one very big thing to consider. And then you have this, so you want to engage with your audience, right? Because I've been on webinars before and I've seen these webinar hosts, do it completely wrong, where they just blaze through the content, but they don't really take any breaks or the time to, I guess, engage with their actual audience and the people who are actually attending the webinar. And because of that, there isn't as much of a connection between the actual host or the creator and the actual people who are in the event, And of course, last one, visual examples. You just want to have visual examples so that people can actually see, that whatever topic you touch on during the event, they have some sort of visual example they can tie that with, and it just makes everything a lot easier for them to understand. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. A couple things you need is you need a sales team, maybe phone setters, closers, email and SMS automations and sequences, for pre-webinar and post-webinar. You need a group chat or a private channel for anticipation, like we mentioned here. Of course, you need some sort of funnel or landing page for both registration and confirmation. And of course, you need the actual webinar script and slides. You also need, I didn't write it down here, but you also need to have a webinar jam account. Ideally, that's where webinars are usually hosted, Webinar Jam. So that collects everyone into like one single room. And yeah, that's pretty much the entire webinar funnel. This is a live webinar because there's, automated webinars as well, but it's always best to do it live. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram. If you want me to build one for you, we can talk about that. But yeah, that's it. Stay tuned.